Hey guys, so I am coloring in my drawing of Razor from Genshin Impact. I know I said I wouldn't really draw many Genshin Impact characters after I drew either, but which is the main character, which is also known as Traveler. But I decided to draw Razor, and there's this other one that I wanted to draw. These are ones that my friend showed me. I'm not really super interested in all of the characters. I know a lot of people have been really interested in like especially like fangirls have been really interested in like the male characters that you can see in the game. Personally, it's not really not that I don't like the aesthetic, it's more so those types of characters. I don't know, personally, it's just not gonna be something that's my favorite. But yeah, the reason why I went back to actually playing the game was because my friend gave me codes to redeem for a, I think it was only for that day, and then he was like, "Oh, you can go redeem your codes." However, in the game, there's like this adventure rank that you have to have, and they said you have to be level 10 to actually get the to actually redeem the codes and claim the prizes that they were giving for free. So I was like, but I'm not that. So then I had to spend a couple, around a good hour or so, trying to level up, and then I played for around 2 hours that day. And then I found out, because originally I was gonna ask my friend to help me and join my world in Genshin. So basically you can join um people's worlds if you're friends with them, and then you guys can help each other out. I was gonna ask them to help me out because I was struggling to level up the adventurer rank, and then behold, it said you can only like join each other's worlds and play with each other multiplayer online if you are at level 16, and I was only at level 8 at the time, so I was like, this is really bad. So I did my best within, yesterday I played like 2 times, but I played for a long time for both of them. I want to say good 2-3 hours each session. So yeah, normally I don't play that long, but I did end up doing that because um it's just so much like stuff that I had to do. You basically can gain experience points by fighting boss monsters, and also you can go around finding these chests that have like stuff inside, like inventory and prizes inside. So I was just going around the whole thing, and you can also get more adventurer points from, what is it, um finding all the waypoints, which are basically these like check marks around the map that you can teleport to make it easier, so you don't have to run through the whole world just to get to a section that you need to get to during missions and stuff like that. So yeah, so I was struggling through that. But anyways, back to Razor. I actually don't have this character on my team. I only have like 5 people, I want to say 5 or 6 people, and they were all pulled. Like, I only pulled around like 3 or 4 characters, so my team is very minimal. And I found out I was playing like the wrong way, because you can build characters specifically. I don't know why, like, because it wasn't specifically told in the tutorial how to build your characters. So all this time, like with the different artifacts and weapons that you can add to characters, I just did not add the proper stuff. So I was struggling the whole time. Every time I would fight, like half of the time, like one of my characters would just almost die. So yeah. So I am just coloring in Razor's hair. It's a nice silver color, actually. I haven't really drawn any characters with silver or gray hair, so this is a nice, like, contrast to, like, different drawings that I have done before. Um, Overall, like, he has this long, spiky, flowy hair, so I really wanted to get that right. I noticed a lot of Genshin Impact characters after drawing three, including Razor right now, because I drew Sucrose and Ether. Those are on my drawings playlist if you want to see those. But anyways, I noticed they have like spricks, like the tufts of hair on top of their head, which is like all of them have that design. So I guess that's just a thing that Genshin Impact characters have. Um, Usually not all of my characters have those, so I guess it's just whatever they wanted to do for their art style. So it's like always tufts of hair on top of their head, which is super cute for hairstyles, but in my opinion, it's like all of them have that. So I just noticed um, a minor detail like that. Um, so I'm just going around and shading. He has this really long flowy hair, which is really pretty. It's funny because I used to have super long hair too, but I cut it because it's just so hard to maintain. um, but basically, I went over and shaded as much as I could, adding as many details as possible for the hair. I really like how the hair turned out for all of my Genshin Impact characters, the way that I drew them. Um, Sometimes, like, the hair doesn't look that good, but now I think I'm getting the hang of, like, shading hair really nicely. So there's all the different types of shades that I use. I use like 3 different colors, so that way you guys can see like the full effect of like the dimensions of the strands of hair. And to be honest, when I was coloring his outfit, I was everywhere. I was trying to do the same thing as I did with the others, which is color in the same any item on his clothing that was like the same color, I would color that in first. But to be honest, like, there was so many things going on with his design. This is the one thing that I mentioned in all of my Genshin Impact videos, like for like the drawings that I did. um just the sheer amount of detail that goes into like their outfits. There's so much going on. It's very anime like, and I know like it's normal for like anime stuff to have that much detail. As for like I feel like sometimes, cuz I guess it's more like, I want to say, even My Hero Academia, all of the characters have like quite a bit of detail to their outfits, and normally, like, there's like different time periods, especially with like Western comic books and superheroes, where like some of them are just overly detailed, where they have so many things on them, where it's like it's not practical. So I feel like a lot of people go for that route when it comes to clothing. It's not as it's aesthetically pleasing and really beautiful, but at the same time, it's like I don't think that's practical for like trying to go outside, fighting monsters, or going on an adventure and just like running around with that much clothing and the different types of articles. But at the same time, I can come to appreciate the art, but at the other end, like, logically, I'm just thinking, no, that's not really like practical to wear during like a fight. So yeah, but I know a lot of anime goes for like the impractical stuff because it's normally about like the aesthetic and how cool it looks. So that's the difference kind of between like genres. When you look at like Western stuff, sometimes it's more simplified compared to like Japanese stuff, because Japanese stuff likes to make aesthetically look like pleasing artwork. Not that simplified isn't aesthetically pleasing, but it's more thinking about like practical use when it comes to like what type of clothing you're wearing. Completely depends on like what time you come from too. Like I know like my brother was talking about like comic books. There were some comic books where it was like too much things going on with the design where it's like I don't think that's okay. Like I don't think that's like can be useful in battle to wear that much things. But yeah, I do like the busy designs. It's just drawing them kind of makes me a bit like stressed out in terms of like there's so many things going on. I didn't know what to focus on. So I was like trying to pinpoint, okay, what's the same color as this item so that way I can finish using this color and move on to the next. It's not like my other ones where I said I draw, I'll color in the skin, the hair, and then the shirt, and then the pants. Normally, I go from like top, bottom, that type of deal when it comes to clothing for coloring. But for this, it was just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna do my best to color in whatever articles or clothing are the same. So he's wearing a poncho. It's a tan color, but I didn't really have like a really good tan color. So I ended up using for the top and bottom layer, I used for the bottom layer like this brownish golden tan color, and then on the top I actually the one that I was using just now is like a tan color. It's the one that I used to shade in skin, but it looks darker than in comparison to when it's on top of like the actual skin itself. So yeah, I tried my best with the colors. Some of the colors you might notice are darker. Either I accidentally chose darker colors like the brown that are on his shoulder pads right now. I accidentally chose like a very dark color when it's supposed to be the same color as the belt. So just pretend that's shaded. I don't know why my mind was like, oh, it's this dark when it wasn't. And then for the feather wings, it's kind of, I use black. He has like these feathers on his shoulder pad too. Overall, the design, like, I was trying to go for that pose where he's like crouching on the floor. If you search up Razor Genshin Impact on Google, that's literally the pose you get. The only reason why I knew about this character was because my friend showed me a picture a long while ago when we started playing. So, yeah, but basically I don't have a lot of characters on my team, and I don't even have a lot of characters in general for the game right now. So I'm waiting. He said to wait for, because they're gonna do another update, so he said to wait for that and then do like polls, like draw characters and weapons and stuff like that. So he said to wait, so I'm gonna wait and see if I can get something good. Because right now, I think mainly the characters you can get are female. So I think they're gonna be putting more males you can pull. Because most of the characters you can get are female. Um, so yeah. His glove is orange, and then there's like brown and white. His right glove has like this silver armor piece on it, as for his left glove doesn't. So like the whole like is it called asymmetrical when there's like only one, I forgot, like, I think it's asymmetrical when you have one thing on, like, one side while the other side isn't matching because it doesn't have that. So, like, for example, characters that have, like, one shoulder pad and then they don't have another shoulder pad on their other shoulder. So that I do appreciate like those finer details, but again, it's like I was trying to look at references and like I had to screenshot a whole bunch of different references just to see like the color and design make sure it's accurate. So I'm pulling from a lot of different references for these drawings, just at least 2 to 3, just to see like the actual designs. Because sometimes you grab artwork from someone and you're like, oh, this is a cool pose, I want to draw them in this too, or something like that, and then you realize, wait, but this part isn't accurate to the clothing. So I actually found screenshots of like the actual in-game model and stuff like that. But again, some of the stuff that I drew was more simplified compared to the way that it actually is. So if there's like minor details that are like off, or coloring that's off, it's just because I didn't have like the correct color, or I couldn't really see like the different details well in like multiple references. It just happens. Like sometimes I'll look at a reference and then I'll look at another one. I'll be like, how does this part look? I can't get the angle of this part because it's cut off in a way. Compared, like it depends on the poses and the references too. So now I am coloring in his hoodie. I chose to do like the top layers last, like for example the hood and then his pants, so that way I wasn't too overwhelmed with like what goes over and under. So I kept like the top layers uncolored until the last moment, so I could color those in and still keep fresh in mind that those are on top of the other layers. I like the poncho and hoodie design. I think it's really like I don't know. I think the reason why I like this character is because he looks edgy again. it's just it's just a thing that happens, when you like a certain aesthetic. It kind of looks a bit more edgy compared to other characters in the game, so that's why I probably like his aesthetic more. I have been liking a lot of characters that have long hair when they're male characters, so to be honest, this fits in with like whatever characters I like in anime and different games as well. Um, it's just guys with long hair. um, so I am shading it in. Um, Sorry, I'm not talking too much about like the actual character itself. I don't really know that much about Razor, to be honest. A lot of these characters I don't know that much. The only one that you would know slightly more about, like if you're someone who's not really following all of the different characters, would be Either, just because he's like the main character, unless you're playing as his sister. So I actually added in his sword that he was holding in the reference as well. Funny story, I actually don't use rulers for how I draw the swords, so it's kind of like just all hand. Like I have to like see where it goes, if it's like behind the head, how is it going to be angled and stuff like that. It's not really ideal, especially if you're like not really good at drawing, and sometimes like you get it crooked, so you really have to like look at how you're sketching it. So I would recommend using a ruler for those parts. Actually, I'm just really like not good with rulers. Every time I do rulers, it's like not the right angle that I wanted, so at that point I was just like, I'm just gonna sketch out the swords the way that I think it would be, so that way I get the proper angling. um yeah, so now I'm just outlining. There's so many things that, to be honest, I didn't specifically outline anything in a specific order, just because there's like so many things, and sometimes I forget to outline certain parts, so I was really worried that I would forget to outline something, but I managed to outline everything without forgetting this time. Like, I know in different videos before I've forgotten like one part, like one small part of the character, and I forgot to outline that. So I was trying to be really careful. But yeah, my favorite part has to be the poncho, but it was pretty difficult to draw. Just the whole angle with like his legs and stuff like that. That was like really complicated for me because I was trying my best and I don't necessarily like draw the angles like it's like the proper way that they're in. So sometimes the arm, this time the arm was supposed to be closer to his crotch, but I drew it kind of further by accident. So having that said, like there was more showing of the poncho than it did on the reference. So then I had to use another reference to see how his poncho actually looked. So I don't get the poses like exactly the way I see on reference. So yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see process work, it's in my drawing, it's in my description box below. All my social media is there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!